Rejoining us, our friend Dick Morris, political analyst and author of the new book, Power Grab. Dick's phoning in today. We will see him face-to-face tonight in our special election coverage. Dick, let's talk about the Mitch McConnell-Allison Grimes race. Does McConnell win this going away tonight in Kentucky?
Yeah, I think going away. The polling was tight a few weeks ago, but lately it's been given McConnell a 6 or 7 point lead, and I think that's likely to carry through. I just want to make one point, JD, that I made earlier when we spoke, but I want to elaborate on it. There is a new analysis that was published by a prominent political scientist in which he went through the polling in midterm elections going back several decades. And what he found was that the polls are always wrong, that they always understate the trend that's at work during the election. And they usually understate it by a margin of 2 to 3 points. And it's always consistent. They either are constantly understating what the Republican's going to do or overstating what the Republican is going to do by 2 to 3 points in each state. And that's because the turnout in off-year elections is very vulnerable to a lack of enthusiasm. It's because the commitment to each candidate is a lot less fierce than the commitment would be to a presidential nominee. And also that you have more upscale voters who are more likely to change their minds and be fluid. And the result is that you really cannot take those poll numbers to the bank. And you sort of have to ask yourself, which side is going to get the momentum? And I think clearly the Republicans have the momentum going into this election. So while a narrow, literalistic reading of the polling data would suggest the Republicans gain 7 or 8 seats on net, I think it's possible that they could even do better than that.
Wow, now that is interesting, and we want to talk about that a little more later. I want to concentrate on Kentucky for a couple of reasons right now. One is both their current senators, because Kentucky's junior senator Rand Paul was with Mitch McConnell on that final swing through the bluegrass state. Let's take a listen to what Rand Paul had to say and then come back and talk about it.
We're going to send a message. We're going to send a message to President Obama. This will be a repudiation of President Obama's policies.
Is that less Mitch McConnell 2014 and more Rand Paul for president 2016 right there?
Yeah, I think it is. But it's significant that Paul was stumping for McConnell because when Rand Paul got the nomination for the Senate, McConnell's people were supporting the Secretary of State, I forget his name, who was opposing Paul in the primary. And this is Paul sort of coming in to rejoin the establishment of the state and support McConnell.
It's going to be very interesting because, of course, Kentucky has tried to go through the statutory provisions allowing Rand Paul to run for the Senate and at the same time run for the presidency in 2016. I believe that, in fact, was passed up at Frankfurt. Was it not? That is now part of Kentucky.
I don't know. The last I heard about it was that they needed one more Republican senator, and they were hoping to pick him up in the election today.
Well, that certainly gives us another story to cover, does it not?
But I'm not sure whether it's happened or not. I think they need one more vote to do that.
Well, we have so much to talk about, Dick Morris, that we have one more segment, not to mention what we're going to do tonight as we continue with the coverage. It is important. We're going to invite Dick back again, as we said, just following the break to talk about more of these races. You heard what he said about this trend for the Senate, maybe being bigger than 6 seats tonight for the Republicans. Do you agree with that? Why don't you tweet me your comments at Newsmax TV, hashtag America's Forum. You can also visit us at newsmaxtv.com/comment. And don't forget Facebook, facebook.com/Newsmax. So plenty of ways to get in touch with us. And don't forget, tonight we'll be in touch with you. Our election coverage begins with Steve Malsberg from Newsmax New York at 7 Eastern. Then we take over from our South Florida News Center at 8 Eastern. We'll see you then and see you back here in just a second.